YouTube, what is going on? Today we are continuing our series into the biggest games of 2023, and the next game, as promised, is going to be Tears of the Kingdom. Now, obviously, that game comes out in May, and we still have some time before that game comes out, but being as it is probably the biggest game of 2023. There's obviously going to be Spider-Man, there's Starfield, there's Hogwarts Legacy, which I just recently pre-ordered. But this could be the biggest game of 2023. Breath of the Wild completely changed Zelda games forever. I mean, it just the open and to be honest with you, it changed a lot of other games. Now there's a lot of onus on open world games, play as you want. There's no wrong way to play. I mean, Breath of the Wild did a lot for the gaming industry. The thing I can compare it to is, if you compare it to like Fortnite, it might not be as big, right? Like every game has a battle pass because of Fortnite now, and whether for good or for bad, I'm not really a fan of all the battle passes in every game, but that's Fortnite. Like that's the power of what Fortnite was able to do. Well, now Zelda this is the power of Zelda. Every game now is expected to be open world, expected to have a no wrong way to play. And look at just take a game like Sonic Frontiers, where they call it open zone, but it really is open world Sonic, and there's no wrong way to play. You can explore, you can solve puzzles, you can do time trials and stuff like that. It just feels like it takes the Zelda formula and kind of puts it into the Sonic world, and that's because Breath of the Wild was so incredible. So, Tears of the Kingdom, like I said, comes out in May, and we're going to be talking about some of the things that we want to see, some of the things that we're community-based discussions. Like basically, there's a conversation that's been happening. If you haven't been on Twitter, it's about weapon durability and just durability in general. If that's a good thing for Zelda, if that's a bad thing for Zelda, a lot of people had complaints about durability in Breath of the Wild because they felt like it was a little too tedious. Me personally, I felt like it was a little tedious, but it never really bothered me. I haven't really thought about it being a bad feature in the gameplay until people started talking about it, and I feel like that's one of those things where it's like a lot of people are going to have opinions based off of the internet and not actually their own experience. So I never had an issue with durability. Like, it was tedious. I'm not going to say it wasn't tedious, but I never had an issue with it. Like, I never sat there and thought, oh my gosh, this sucks. Like, things keep breaking. I never really thought that. And so I don't want my opinion to be reshaped because there's a lot of people on Twitter who think, oh no, the durability is not good. It shouldn't be in the game, or it should be scaled back, or whatever the case is. I think it's fine. If they do tune it back a little bit, that's cool too. But I don't see that as like a game-breaking feature. I don't see that as like something that's, oh my gosh, if they don't do this, then the game's going to be, I don't really see that. But it definitely is a discussion, and we'll be looking at some of the comments and what people feel about it. But story-wise, obviously, the Zelda games follow a pretty linear formula with their story. In Breath of the Wild, you defeat Ganon, which is pretty cool, and you basically. I'm not sure what the tease is for Tears of the Kingdom, but you kind of get left on a cliffhanger because Zelda just straight up asks you, "Do you remember me?" and boom, end credit. Like I think I'm not really sure where the story is gonna go for Zelda games, and disclaimer too, I'm not the biggest Zelda like. I played some of the games on GameCube, and then I obviously played like Smash Bros. And I would use Link. But Breath of the Wild is the first Zelda game where I truly like immerse myself. So I'm not as hardcore a Zelda fan as some other people. But I definitely had a really good time with it. I want to see what the story. I want to see where the story goes. I will say, Tears of the Kingdom has a lot of pressure on it because there are things that like come with when you set Breath of the Wild that high. When you set the bar high, like God of War, there's an expectation that you have to live up to, and it's tricky because when you make a sequel, there's what shouldn't be in the game, what should be improved on, what should be. One of the things that another discussion that people were talking about in the Zelda community is more dungeons. Should there be more dungeons in this game? Should there be more like classic Zelda elements in this game? Were there enough of them? Again, I can't say I've played too many. I played some of the games on GameCube. But I was a kid, like I would just play them for like a couple hours and then I would be off of them. Like, I wasn't sitting here diving deep into the lore and stuff like that. So I can't really. It's not. I don't think it's my opinion to say. I wouldn't know what makes an elite Zelda game. I loved Breath of the Wild, but my opinion on some of these things, like with Breath of the Wild and just gaming in general, is leave it to the fans who have been with the franchise for a long time. If you've been with the Zelda franchise for some odd years, you would know what makes a good Zelda game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would know way better than the casual fan like me would know. So, I can give my little insights and stuff, but ultimately my opinion doesn't hold as much weight as a true Zelda fan. And so I just am going to be giving my opinion sparingly here and there. So take it with a grain of salt, I guess. But I wouldn't mind seeing classic Zelda elements in this game. I mean, it's hard because the Breath of the Wild took Zelda to a place it's never been, and the gameplay was so unique. It's really become the flagship franchise of Nintendo. I know Mario will always be the mascot, but Zelda has kind of reached that status where it's like when you think of Nintendo, a lot of people might say Zelda before Mario, and we haven't had a big Mario game in a while. Excluding Rabbids, but so the classic dungeon thing. I mean, I could see it coming into the game with Tears of the Kingdom. I would say it's gonna have to be done in a way that doesn't ruin the open world formula. You don't want to have too much linear gameplay, too much boxed in gameplay where you kind of feel like you're being pushed forward and you don't necessarily want to be. Like I said, the thing that this game does well is there's no wrong way to play it. There's just no wrong way to play it. You can explore, you can hunt, you can just do whatever you want to do with this game and progress as you want to progress. If they do with some classic elements in the game, like if they add some of that, then it has to be a balance, because you don't want to force players, hey, you have to complete this. Yeah, once you're in this part, you have to go forward. There's no other way, because then I think it's going to hurt the experience a little bit in terms of being free to play this game. But I mean, again, these are just my sparing opinions. Don't put too much stock into them. Like I said, I haven't been with the franchise nearly as long as anybody else, but I am excited because Legend. This is going to be let me highlight the significance of this game. Tears of the Kingdom could quite possibly be the send-off to the Nintendo Switch. It has been well rumored that there's going to be a new Switch coming out, or a new Nintendo console coming out next year, next fall, I believe is what all the analysts and all the insiders are saying. That's where a lot of the discussion is happening. And look, we'll see. Maybe at E3 they announce a new console. We'll see. Maybe they do it at the Game Awards like Microsoft did. Maybe they have their own thing like Sony did, right? But there is a new console coming for sure. Whether it's a Switch Pro, whether it's a next generation, like, we don't know. But what I will say is this. This could be the send-off for the Nintendo Switch. And if it is the send-off, it puts even more pressure on this game. I think the game's going to live up to all the expectations and exceed it. The team that is making this obviously understands the formula. They have their fingers on the pulse. But if you take a look at the Dreamcast. The last big game for the Dreamcast was Sonic Adventure 2. That was a game made by 10 people too, which I didn't even know. But that was they did everything. They put their heart and soul into that game. They made that game and they went all out. I'm telling you, if you ever played that game, they literally put as many features as they can. It was a jam-packed. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was like you knew the console was dying, but this little phoenix rose from the ashes of the. It was amazing. It was amazing, and so if that is the case for Link and Tears of the Kingdom, then I really hope it has the similar effect. I hope that this is the send-off to thank you, Nintendo Switch, for all the memories. I mean, the Nintendo Switch is a legendary console. Nintendo, after the Wii U, I mean, we didn't know, right? And then they come out with the Nintendo Switch, and it's like, oh my god, like, Nintendo's back. And so for years we've been on this Nintendo Switch, so many games, so many memories. I mean, Mario Kart 8 and Super Mario Odyssey. So many games I'm trying to think of off the top of my head. Like, obviously Breath of the Wild. There's so many Pokemon games flying in and out. we've seen so much good on the Nintendo Switch, and so to me it would be very fitting if Tears of the Kingdom was the last big send-off. Thank you, Switch fans. This is the last game for the Nintendo Switch. Not the last game, but like the last big, like heavy hitter game until the next console. And I think that would be really awesome. I think it would be a really cool love letter to Nintendo fans and Zelda fans in general. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at some discussion points here too. So this is I'm gonna leave the little gameplay in box and box here, but yeah. So this is the discussion that was started by Nintendo Life. Do you want weapon degradation? I don't know why do you want weapon durability in Tears of the Kingdom? And some people say yes, make them last a little longer, which is what I was saying. Maybe you tune it back. People, this is what made me try a lot of different weapons. Give us a quest to get an item to make them last even longer. Do it blacksmith upgrades. A lot of interesting ideas. I don't know what way they would do it if they did tune it back. I personally am on the side of I think I'd rather have a nice blacksmith to kind of go to and make them last longer. The quest idea is cool. The problem with the quest idea is that people might not be inclined to do that quest because of the way Breath of the Wild works. It's like you don't necessarily have to go do that quest. You could just play as you want to play. Like I said, there's no wrong way to play. So a lot of people might not want a quest because they want to just, be able to upgrade their weapons and then boom, go explore, do what they want to do. So I feel like the blacksmith is kind of easier, but I wouldn't be me personally, I wouldn't be opposed to either way. It can start that way, but I want more options for permanent equipment than what Breath of the Wild had. The game can be designed so that people have degradable weapons only, which would be cool. So basically, he's saying like a degradable weapons only option, or a degradable weapons only run, which is awesome. I actually think that would be a really good idea because if you look at games like Elden Ring, which is pretty unforgiving, there's actually a lot of people who like that. I always felt like the games that are unforgiving, the games that have a high degree of difficulty, are like spicy food. Not everybody likes spicy food. I would even say the majority of people don't like spicy food, but there is a large part of people who do love spicy food and hot food like that. So you have to cater to them as well. And this would be a really good option. Maybe you just make a mode that has degradable weapons, and you can have some runs, like some speed runs with it. I actually really do like this idea. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fun solution to weapon hoarding, but I know not everybody loved it. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people don't like it. Like it's definitely an interesting thing to think about here. I personally, like I said, if they keep it, they keep it. If they don't, they don't. I'm not really sure. I do like the idea of having the option though, as maybe like a setting. That would be pretty cool. So, I mean, people really are talking about this a lot. But yeah, I mean, look, Tears of the Kingdom, however it comes out, I do believe it's going to live up to the expectations. The countdown is already on. I mean, there's a account with 33K followers, and it just counts the days down until we get Tears of the Kingdom. There's 110 days remaining as of today, which is really awesome. I do wonder, if it's going to have another direct or anything like that. We haven't really seen much on it. I mean, we've seen we have seen some things like that little trailer that he's flying in the sky and the little opening of the door. Like, we don't really know much. We just know that it's coming. So I want to know if there's a direct coming in February or something like that. I think it should happen. We haven't really gotten a full gameplay presentation of this game yet, so we'll see. It's actually interesting to think about when they would do a full gameplay presentation, because Microsoft is having their Xbox Direct in January. Actually, this week they're having their Xbox Direct. I think it's this Wednesday. And they're going to be doing Redfall. They're going to be doing all their games that are coming out like this year in the first half of 2023. So when would Nintendo do that? I wonder. I feel like February is a good day. February is a good month, I should say, because May is very close. Like, think about it. It's already January 22nd. For those of you who don't know, like 2023 kind of just started, and we're already basically out of the first month. So I'm not going to say 2023 is going to fly through, but I am saying, time goes faster than you think. And the marketing and stuff for Breath of the Wild definitely has to be ramped up and you have to have the ads and everything like that, the pre-orders. So we'll see. I think February, or I would say no later than March, there has to be a direct for this game. I think March could be the perfect time, because in March you have nothing really going on gaming wise. I don't think there's a ton of games releasing in March that I know of. So you have the direct in March, middle of March, and then you ramp all of the advertisement up throughout the March, April, and then you have May, and it releases in the second week of May. So it's a really good game too. It's literally, at least where I'm at, by the time it's May, it should be getting warmer outside, which is actually a perfect time for Zelda games, because crack the windows open, get some fresh air, and play some Zelda. So I'm super excited for it. I'm definitely gonna be picking this game up. I ended up selling my Switch over the course of the last holiday season that just passed, because I was not really using it as much. My friends weren't really using it as much. I was like, I kept hearing about a new Switch console, so I was like, all right. I actually found a family that wanted to buy a Switch OLED, and so they gave me a good deal on it. And so yeah, it was basically like brand new. I've taken very good care of it. It was basically brand new. So we literally, I was at the GameStop. I was gonna think about trading it in. I met them, so they gave me a way better deal than GameStop would have gave me. And then I sold them a Switch Pro or Switch OLED. So. But I'm gonna be picking up another Switch for this game, though. I'm probably just gonna. I mean, we'll see. I think the OLED is okay, but I'm probably just gonna get a regular Switch for this game, or maybe even a Switch Lite for this game. We'll see. Because I do want to play this game. I was really thinking once they delayed it, I wasn't sure because keep in mind, I sold that before they announced the date of this game. Like this game was. We knew it was going to get delayed because there was like no advertising for this game, so we knew it was not coming out in 2022. So I was like, all right, they're probably going to delay this to the next Switch console or something, so I'm just going to wait and see. Like, we'll see. Either way, I can't wait for this game, though, because after playing Breath of the Wild, it definitely makes you want to play some more of this style of a Zelda game, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's going to be the video. Hopefully you guys are excited for this game, too. Tell me what you think about Tears of the Kingdom. Are you a fan of durability? Do you want it scaled back? What are you hoping for in this game? What do you think is going to happen story-wise? Let me know all in the comment section. The next game we're going to be looking at in this series, we're going to be doing Spider-Man 2. Disclaimer, we don't know a lot, but I think we do know enough to make a video, so it's going to be a good time. So thank you for checking out this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.